Well, what's going on, Cardinal Nation? Well, what a game today. What a game. A come from behind 12 to 5 win against the Los Angeles Angels. Yeah, 12 to 5. A 7-run 8th inning would blow it open after we had the lead going into the 7th inning. Then the Angels took the lead. Looked like it was going to potentially be a really tough loss again. And then a 7-run 8th inning out of nowhere kind of gave us the win, and that was the difference. And yeah, and after two extra inning losses, yes, two extra inning losses, we lost in 10 innings Monday night, 5-4, and then lost last night in 11 innings, 9-7, in what was a wild back and forth game. The Angels scored three times in the top of the 10th. We then answered with 3 runs of our own in the bottom of the 10th. And then the Angels with 3 more runs in the top of the 11th. And then we had a chance to tie or win it in the bottom of the 11th. But we're unable to get it done, so we've lost 9-7. So, man, we unfortunately were guaranteed a series loss. We went 4 for 16 with runners in scoring position last night. Now, playing 24 hours later, in a game where I thought was maybe not even going to get played because of the weather. But it did start on time. There was no delay, and ironically, shortly after the game ended is when the severe weather came. So, the Angels would take an early 1-0 lead in the top of the first on a home run, the first home run of the season for the 3-time MVP, Mike Trout. First home run of the season for Trout. After playing in just 29 games last year, he had 10 homers. So he was having a really good season up until he got hurt, which was, early in the season, and missed the rest of the year. So he was potentially going for 30 homers last year if he was not hurt. Has not played more than 120 games since 2019. So that would make it 1-0 Angels. Trout, one of the best players of this generation. Rookie of the Year, 3-time MVP. Like a 10-time All-Star. So he's a stud. Has spent his entire career with the Angels. He's never won a playoff game in his now, like his 15th year, I think. So, it remained 1-0. That was off of Sonny Gray, by the way. It remained 1-0 until the bottom of the fourth. Herrera with his first home run of the season to tie it up 1-1. Herrera had last year. Herrera had 5 home runs, 27 ribbies, in 72 games, most of them as a catcher, a couple of them as a DH. So that would tie it up 1-1. And then Herrera again in the bottom of the 6th would put us up 3-1, so a multi-homer game for Herrera. That would put us up 3-1. And Sonny Gray pitching into the 7th inning, and really after giving up that home run to Trout in the first, was doing really well. And so then the top of the 7th, he would give up 2 hits, and then a hit batter would load the bases with no one out for catcher Logan O'Hoppe. And Logan O'Hoppe would hit a grand slam to center field. And so just like that would clear the bases and put the Angels back on top 5-3. And that came with no one out. So 6 innings plus for Sonny Gray, and yeah, that's too bad those 5 runs charged to him. And yeah, he was doing really well. Struck out 9 batters, gave up 5 runs on 5 hits. So Phil Mayton would then come in, and he's done a really good job so far as a Cardinal. Phil Mayton, the veteran right-hander. Then a third of an inning from Kyle Lehey. We were able to tie it up in the bottom of the 7th. Willis Contreras, an RBI double, would score Lars Nootbaar on an error by the shortstop. So 2 runs would score uh, Newbar and Mason win. Contreras and then advanced to third on that error. So that would tie it up 5-5 and remain tied going into the bottom of the eighth. And then Wilson Contreras, with the bases loaded, would take ball 4 to put us up 6-5. As then before that, Jordan Walker a leadoff hit, and then back-to-back bunt hits to load the bases. And then Alec Burleson would walk to put us up 7-5, still only 1 out. And then Nolan Arenado with the 2-run single to put us up 9-5. And then Ivan Herrera again with another home run to put us up 12-5. So for Ivan Herrera, a 3-homer game, and this was a historic game. First ever Cardinals catcher with a 3-homer game. So that is pretty awesome. And yeah, I mean, you don't see catchers have 3-homer games very often. And yeah, I mean, Yadier Molina never had a 3-homer game. I don't even know if he ever had a 2-homer game. I mean, you know, Molina never really hit for power. I mean, he had like 180 home runs. But yeah, so wow, Herrera, 3-homer game, and he had 5 on the last year, so he's just 2 away from matching last year's total, and we're 6 games into the season. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. So yeah, that would put us up in 12-5. So a 6 RBI game for Ivan Herrera, 2 RBIs for Arenado. He already has 6 RBIs on the season, and extending his hitting streak dating back to last season at 12 games. So yeah, he's been off to a hot start. Arenado has. So, and yeah, so just had a number of things go right. A lot of small ball. You know, we had those bunt hits to load the bases, and then back-to-back walks, and then the 3-run homer by Herrera. So yeah, what a game. Even though we lose this series, just quite the dramatic game. So anyway, we'll have an off day tomorrow and then head to Boston to take on the Boston Red Sox, another American League team. So, and they're off to a solid start. I think they're projected to actually, I think, win the American League East, which is a little surprising. So anyway, till then, Friday, I believe it will be the Red Sox home opener. So till then, Comics are saying go Cards.